G20 summit begins.
Federal government launches Grand Policies Nigeria project to drive innovation and progress.
Tax reform bills. Reforms aim to ease burden, boost revenue.
The House has not taken any definitive position on these bills. Our role is to scrutinize them thoroughly.
Well, Nigeria, home to more than 200 million people, has a vibrant youth population. Among them, students form a critical demographic, a driving force for innovation, leadership, and societal change.
Absolutely, Victor. But while the education sector holds the key to shaping these future leaders, it is weighed down by challenges like inadequate funding, crumbling infrastructure, and outdated curricula.
And yet, despite these challenges, students remain pivotal to national development. They fuel innovation, drive entrepreneurship, build the workforce, and lead social change.
But it faces enormous hurdles too, from poor education quality and high unemployment to limited opportunities and a lack of value reorientation.
And as the saying goes, youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Now, with students making up a large portion of Nigeria's youth, they have the power to drive economic growth through entrepreneurship, innovation, and skilled labor.
And let's not forget their potential in building social cohesion, promoting good governance, and developing human capital.
Well, welcome to Good Morning Nigeria today. We'll explore the critical role Nigerian students play in shaping the country's future. Now, as the backbone of any nation, students drive innovation, growth, and progress. But what does it take for them to unlock their full potential and contribute meaningfully to national development?
We would examine the challenges and opportunities students face, from the need for quality education to value reorientation. Education, as we know, is a powerful tool for national development, capable of producing professionals who drive growth and innovation.
And our discussion will also touch on the government's efforts to boost education funding, as recommended by experts.
Join us as we highlight success stories, identify challenges, and discuss the way forward.
We'll hear from experts, student leaders, and policymakers on harnessing the energy and creativity of Nigerian students for sustainable development. You don't want to miss this. I am Victor, and we are delighted to have you with us.
And just a moment, Victor, we're not stopping there. In the second part of the program, we'll take a look at the Grand Challenges Nigeria GCNG project. What is that about? It was launched yesterday. Of course, you get all the details on the show today. I'm Henry John, and you're watching us live on the network service of the NTA. We're at our headquarters right here in Abuja. Of course, in the course of the program, Chukwudi Okolubaja will join us for today's headlines in the papers. But for now, let's have a news update with Sawal Khalil Ibrahim. Sawa, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Sahara. We rise, the land of the free, we know the tide. We dream great, austerities undying. We're serious, we take like mountain. We swear to God, we take everything we know. We make solutions, we make master, yeah. There's a destination, we know all the revolution. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Win a brand new car. Make a purchase of 10 million naira or more at any Vento Furniture store and stand a chance to drive home a brand new car.
Vento Furniture, addictive quality. Wellman Group of Companies presents the Wellman
All right, we apologize for the technical hitch in that news broadcast, for the lack of audio particularly. Now, President Bola Tinubu is currently attending the opening session of this year's summit of the G20 leaders in Rio de Janeiro. On arrival at the venue, President Tinubu, in company of First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, was received by the host President Luis Inacio Lula da Silva. Leaders of member countries attending the event include President Joe Biden of the U.S., Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Emmanuel Macron, among others. The first session of the summit is focusing on fight against hunger and poverty. Now, the group under the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty is encouraging members and other nations of the world to scale up finance and knowledge for human development. President Bola Tinubu is expected to address the gathering in this regard. And President Bola Tinubu has dispatched a delegation to discuss security matters with the leadership of Chad Republic. The National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu is leading the delegation, accompanied by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. The delegation met with the Chadian President Mahamat Idris Deby Itno in N'Djamena on Sunday, 17th November 2024. Nuhu Ribadu delivered President Bola Tinubu's message, expressing condolences over the recent terrorist attack, which claimed the lives of several Chadian soldiers. The team also conveyed the Nigerian leader's message of solidarity with Chad, a key partner in regional security efforts. The discussion between the Chadian president and the Nigerian delegation focused largely on security cooperation, with both countries pledging to intensify joint operations against jihadist groups operating in the Lake Chad Basin. Ribadu described the discussions as fruitful, adding that Nigeria is committed to working more closely with Chad to tackle shared security threats. President Bola Tinubu has redesignated the positions of two recently appointed officials in the State House Media and Communications team to enhance efficiency within the government's communication machinery. A statement issued by Bayo Nanuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, indicates that Sunday Dari, Special Advisor on Public Communication and National Orientation, is now Special Advisor Media and Public Communications, while Daniel Bwala, announced last week as Special Advisor Media and Public Communication, is now Special Advisor Policy Communication. The statement further says these appointments, along with the existing role of Special Advisor Information and Strategy, that there is no single individual spokesperson for the presidency. Instead, all the three special advisors will collectively serve as spokespersons for the government. Now, this approach, the statement further indicates, aims to ensure effective and consistent communication of government policies, decisions, and engagements. Elsewhere, the federal government has launched the Grand Challenges Nigeria project, designed to drive innovation in solving health and other national issues. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who launched the project at the banquet hall of the presidential villa, describes it as a major step in delivering on the promises of the renewed hope government.
Our commitment to inclusivity and equity in serving Nigerians, especially the underserved. It is time to strengthen the capacity of our researchers, healthcare providers, and innovators to meet the inherent and sustainable development.
The federal government is assuring Nigerians that tax reforms being proposed by the Tinubu administration will not increase the tax burden on Nigerians, but expand the nation's tax base by leveraging technology. Now, this was during an interactive session at the House of Representatives on the 4 tax reform bills submitted to the National Assembly. And to the Red Chamber, the Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education has given states a period of 6 months to access universal basic education matching grants to boost basic education. The appeal was made when the committee oversighting the commission went to evaluate the implementation of the 20... Well, those are highlights of the news. Good Morning Nigeria will continue, of course, with me and Yenre after the commercial break. Please don't go away. When the counting is horrible.
From the account of the forces of abundance, Sahara, we rise and we free, we know the tiger. We dream austerities and die. We're still, we take that mountain, we swear to God, we take that victory, we make solution, we make myself, yeah. We're the destination, we have all the
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Win a brand new car. Make a purchase of 10 million naira or more at any Vento Furniture store and stand a chance to drive home a brand new car.
Vento Furniture, addictive quality. Wellman Group of Companies presents the Wellman Group Colloquium in celebration of Operational Excellence 2004 to 2024 with the theme, the Coast to Coast X-ray of the Nigerian Project, World Panacea, under the distinguished chairmanship of His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, former President of Nigeria. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Right Honorable Elder Sheriff Ubrewari JP, Governor, Delta State. Host, Deacon Chris Iyowaye, MD CEO, Wellman Group of Companies. Speakers, Her Excellency Dr. Arikana Chivambori Crow, former permanent representative of the African Union to the United States. His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections. Dr. Moses Umoru, DG, Franco Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Professor Mike Ozekome, SAN, constitutional lawyer and human rights activist. Professor Jerry Gana, former Minister of Information. His Excellency Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, former Governor of Ondo State. Dr. Henrietta Nwebuzia, Associate Professor, Lagos Business School. And Dr. Biageli Ezekwesili, former Vice President, World Bank. Date, November 26, 2024. Time, 9:30 a.m. Venue, Monarchy Center, 70 F.O. Supply Road by FCMB, F.O. Delta State. Attendance is strictly by invitation. For inquiry, call 070-35046101 or 090-430-63530. Announcer, Management. The counsel of our fathers, our Hajj and wells our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms. Nigerian youth, let's build our nation together. They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, loyal and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, rise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. We only remember the emblem to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
Thank you for your patriotic commitment to Nigerian unity, stability and progress.
Parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
Welcome to the Emirates.
This Saturday, Arsenal,
Scott, be careful. Bukayo Saka!
Nottingham Forest,
He has rolled it to Hudson-Odoi, who finds his path closed, and in it goes!
Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest, live on Sporty TV. Multibet sponsors coverage of the English Premier League.
Thanks for staying with us on Good Morning Nigeria. And up next is newspaper review. And Chukwudi Okoli-Obaja has joined us for newspaper review. Good morning to you, Chukwudi.
Good morning. Nyeri, how are you doing?
Very well, Chukwudi, good to see you.
Same here. And I thank the technical crew for coping with the little glitches we're experiencing this morning. It's inevitable. I had lots of it in my time.
All right, let's see what the papers have this morning. We begin with the Daily Trust. The leads with Northern Reps raise fresh concerns over tax reform bills. The writers say region plagued by insecurity, low productivity. It's unfair for Lagos Rivers FC to have 70% back proceeds according to the FRS boss and will be guided by national interest according to Dogawa. So that's the main
Okay.
story.
And The Guardian rates 18 million out-of-school children 34 states ditch UBE grants as unused funds surpass 135 billion naira. Chukwudi.
Yeah, Victor, quickly, the tax reform bills still doing the rounds in controversy, an element of democracy. The fact that we're talking about it is very important to me, to us. It should be important to everyone who admires the process of democracy. Now, Northern reps have joined in. Initially, it was the traditional institution plus the governors and all that. And the argument is that the headquarters of, the people who actually give out those services is where that kind of tax should happen more. I didn't quite understand the argument because I understood that as being something that the consumer of a good puts in addition to the value of that good. Another form of tax for government. Whatever it is, what I have said is let them keep joying about it. At the end of the day, it either sails through the National Assembly or it doesn't. And the North has good representation in the National Assembly. So if representatives from the North in good numbers say it's not going to, it won't sail through.
In other words, you are just saying let democracy prevail.
Exactly, Victor. That's the point of it.
And then 34 states ditch UBE grants as unused funds surpass 135 billion naira.
Why,
34 states.
Why would you talk about unused funds? Is it that the counterpart?
They are not coming up with the counterpart funding.
That is the problem. How can you have an opportunity that helps you to better the education of our people? You do not, little by little, bring in the little counterpart funding you're supposed to bring in. When it now becomes a backlog, you run into a problem.
It tells of the priorities.
Then their priorities are not right because you have to learn to save for the rainy day. The fund we're talking about helps you save for the rainy day because it takes a lot of burden off your shoulders. That's why I look at it.
18 million. All right. What else is there?
Now, quickly, Dangote Refinery, $6 billion to import crude. And you'll say, hey, what we're giving him is giving them. I keep talking to the individual instead of the company. That's bad manners.
Well, the individual is not different from the company.
Okay.
The company is
saying, quickly, our time is up. What they're saying is that when the 650 barrels per day capacity is really reached and they need extra crude to reach that, costs will even drop locally and there will be more competition in Europe. That's what the argument is all about.
All right.
Many thanks, Chukwudi. That's the news for review for today. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation. Stay with us.
The counsel of our fathers. My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. We probably do not know what it is. Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together. The federal government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor. Nigeria means a lot to me. And Nigeria means peaceful cohesion. My country. We continue to pray and hopefully we will come to understand that unity of purpose, unity of living together. Our ethnic beliefs and background and culture is our strength. Ever since the amalgamation period of 1914 to date, about 109 years ago,
the people of Nigeria live very peacefully with one another.
I think diversity helps a lot to enhance the best development in Nigeria.
All over the country, have southern ethnic groups, over 250. That is enough to tell you that this is a blessed country, and that God has kept together as one individual entity.
See the cool sales in here. Everything's on discount. Yeah, I saw it already. But you know what? I've been thinking we should focus more on making things than just buying stuff. What? You really shouldn't go for these awesome. No. Hear me out, Nkechi. We are always chasing after new toys, upgrading gadgets, and buying things we don't really need. But what if we use that money to create something special? Like what? Anything! Instead of getting another fancy pair of shoes, we could start our own cool business together. You mean we should become entrepreneurs? Exactly! We could use our smart thinking to make something awesome for people. We might even make a big difference in our neighborhood. You know what? You're right. We can learn a lot about money too. Awesome! Let's be the heroes of our own story. Together, we can make a big change and break free from just buying stuff all the time. One right action can make a big difference, right?
Is a new group emerging in Nigeria as the Northwest coming under siege with escalating deadly attacks. Lakurawa. Who are the members of this group? Where are they coming from? What are their operating capabilities? Find out on NTA Tuesday Live coming up on the 19th November 2024. NTA Tuesday Live on checkmating resurgence of terrorism in the Northwest. It promises to be inclusive, incisive, and educative as ever. Join us. This Sunday, Napoli.
And Kvaratskhelia.
Roma.
This with the ball in. Headed towards goal and in.
Napoli versus Roma.
Flicked in by Sole.
Live on Sporty TV. SportyBet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
All right, welcome back. This is Good Morning Nigeria, live on the network service of the NTA. And to begin our conversation this morning, which is on Nigerian students and international development, let's quickly take a look at this background report put together by our correspondent, Ibrahim Dan Hamidu.
Education is the backbone of any nation, creating sound minds in sound bodies and unlocking potential in all sectors of the economy for sustainable, holistic, and inclusive growth. By investing in education, we are investing in human capital development, critical for long-term productivity and growth. Nigerian students are eager to make a difference, and their voices need to be heard. The National Digital Learning Policy is a step in the right direction, fostering collaboration among stakeholders for a cohesive and sustainable approach. But it is not just about academics. Value reorientation through education can transform society by reorientating values. Educationists urge policymakers and reformers to create a Nigeria where students are equipped to succeed, where education is prioritized, and where national development is a collective effort. As the country's young minds rise, a legacy of sustainable development takes shape, brightening the future. Don't miss our discussion as we explore the vital role of Nigerian students in national development. Together, let's empower the next generation to drive positive change.
All right, many thanks, Ibrahim Hamidu, for that background report. And to begin our conversation on Nigerian students and national development, let me start by introducing Honorable Comrade Ashefo Sunday Dayo. He is Senior Special Assistant to the President on Student Engagement. It's a pleasure to welcome you to Good Morning Nigeria.
It's my pleasure to be here. Good morning.
And of course, we would have other guests join us in a bit, but let's just begin the conversation with you. Many will be wondering, students are dependent on those who cater for them. And then we're talking national development. So what's the place of students in national development?
Thank you so much. The students are very important to unlock the potential and to drive the economy of any nation. And as such, students are very key to transform. They are very key in developing a nation, and that is why you see my principal has always, his commitment towards the students, towards the education sectors, because he believes that the Nigerian student, with them, with the youth of this country, they believe then whatever any of agenda that is pushing with the student and youth play a very vital role supporting the agenda, because he believes they are the people that he will also hand over to. So that is why the president has been catering for the students of this country. And talking about students are very important in any society. They are very important in terms of development. They are very important in terms of driving the economy of the country. And virtually everywhere you see students. And as such, the current leadership of students we have in Nigeria today has been so wonderful in terms of supporting the government, in terms of also coming on board with different ideas on how they can drive the economy of this country, coming up with different ideas to also help the government and to also help their colleagues, who are particularly the primary school, the secondary school students, and even the tertiary institution students. The student leaders are also, they have been involving themselves in bringing things, trying to change the narrative, and that is why you could see that in recent time, the contribution and the support of the students to this present government is highly commendable.
All right. Many thanks for that background, Comrade Sunday Dayo. Of course, students play a big role in the development of a nation. But we know that Nigerian students face a lot of challenges. Could you highlight some of those challenges and what government is doing, to deal with the problems Nigerian students face?
Thank you so much. In every society, in every group, there has always been the challenges of this and that. And student is not different in terms of having one or two challenges. Today, the challenges I can think the Nigerian students facing is normal challenge that every individual, parent, youth, which is you wake up in the morning, face the normal day routine. But to be realistic this time around, I think the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made things seamless. All these challenges to be seamless in terms of cater for the student. You see, in those days, the normal challenge that the student used to face is about this ASU strike, which a student who enrolled for 4 years course will turn to 7 years course, but today it's becoming a thing of the past. And they also, again, the normal challenges that Nigerian students, to be precise, used to face about someone getting admission into a university or college or polytechnics, and they are unable to complete their education because of the financial challenge, which this current administration has also come on board to rub those things off. And that is why we have the assisting the net fund, who is catering for those areas. And like we're also talking about transportation challenges on campus, which is also a major problem for students, you know. And the president also came on board. We also felt that, no, I think I also need to cushion this effect of transportation. And the president also came giving CNG buses to students to also cushion that effect. Like I have said, there is no way, even in life, even pastor will wake up, will have one or two challenges. Probably you want to meet up with preaching one side of the church, but you're unable to do so. Every human being will wake up with different challenges. But the major challenges that the Nigerian students used to face, today this government has, you know, has been able to, you know, at least, you know, put a stop to those things. And the student themselves, it is something that is feasible, that everybody can see, that the student can see. So it's not only in Nigeria here. If you look at the International Student Day we are celebrating today, there is something led to it. In 1939, something led to it. Students agitate, and as such, the government then they felt this agitation is becoming too arch. Some of the student leaders were arrested, some were executed, and at the end of the day, that does not mean they still came up again and still think there is need for them to celebrate the heroes who have passed, who have also led the struggle. So not only in Nigeria, there must be a challenge. There is no way, nobody is perfect. It's only God that is perfect. But I can tell you today, that is why you see in August protests that people are anticipating that a student will do this. You know, they discovered that the students of Nigeria were so, you know, so supportive to the government in terms of saying that we cannot do any protest because we have never seen it this way before, because the kind of the government we are having now is government that open doors for students, the government that listen to students. So whenever they have issue, they run to my office. I take them to the Minister of Education, and if the minister cannot solve, we get to the appropriate quarter, and their matter is being resolved. So a lot of issues.
In terms of resolving the issues faced by Nigerian students, you have made you know, good points about, you know, the NEL fund, trying to ease transportation and some of the other challenges. But you see, a major challenge for Nigerian students at the moment is the quality of education they get at whatever level, whether it is basic, whether it's secondary, whatever. You know, the quality has depreciated according to, you know, reports and statistics that we have. What is the government doing in that regard?
Thank you so much. Let me, like I have said, challenges is big, and that you also go to another dimension. But let me tell you, first and foremost, this present administration came on board and they felt that it's need, because it's overdue, it's long overdue. People have been agitating that it's need for us to change our curriculum. I get me, which the government felt, yeah, it's necessary. And I speak to you today that in Ministry of Education, by God's grace, by next year, we have a different curriculum that will match the 21st century of the education that everybody is expecting.
University curriculum?
The primary from the primary school, from the primary to the secondary and university. And I can assure you, and that is why when you look at that net fund, the president also give room for both. You know, that net fund, the net fund is not only for formal education, the informal education that the president also believe, okay, it's not everybody that have right, that wish to at least some will believe that they want to do skill acquisition, that is their interest, and the president also make provision for that. So if you believe that you don't want to go to university, you want to probably your face skill acquisition, you have one of two skills you want to develop, the president also make provision for that. And let me also tell you, the curriculum that I'm talking about today, I can assure you by next year, different courses will be taken. Even from the primary school, there is need for the curriculum have give room for machine learning, robotic, and cyber security that can meet up the standard. So that, and as at yesterday, the National Assembly, the House of Rep committee on there is 3 schools that will just be established now, and one of those schools is about skill acquisition. One is about skill acquisition. One is about this machine learning, cyber security. Want our students to have, even in public service today, you discover that majority of the work that most of people are doing is no longer these analog again. We are moving to the digital. So we also need to move with that. And to move with that, the curriculum needs to change. That has been done.
The curriculum changing. Is the government looking at equipping these schools? Because it's not just to have a curriculum on paper, it's to be able to execute and the students to get the knowledge required.
Thank you so much. Like let me say this. Everybody have his own mandate. UBEC has a mandate for junior secondary school. Today, my principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, among other presidents, let me start from 2014 to today, no other president who has invested in education like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
But some will argue that the value of investment at that time and now are not the same.
Let me say this. This president is someone who